What is good, Horror Horde? This is your boy Horror Gamer, back with another video for you. And on tonight's video we have another Creepypasta Theater. And as for request of Zombie Apocalypse 44 and Interweb Kaiju, on this episode of Creepypasta Theater, we explore the utterly terrifying and truly creepy creepypasta known as the Slenderman. The Slenderman is a being, male in appearance, who looks like a man with extremely long, slender arms and legs. He also appears to have 4 to 8 long black tentacles that protrude from his back. Though different photographs and enthusiasts disagree on this fact, and therefore it is theorized that he can contract these tentacles at will. He is described as wearing a black suit strikingly similar to the facade of the notorious Men in Black, and as the name suggests, appears very thin and able to stretch his limbs and torso to inhuman lengths in order to induce fear and ensnare his prey. Once his arms are outstretched, his victims are put into this hypnotized state, if you will, where they are utterly helpless to stop themselves from walking into them. He is also able to create tendrils from his fingers and back that he uses to walk on in a similar fashion to Dr. Octopus. The superhuman stretching ability could also be seen as similar between himself and Mr. Fantastic. Whether he absorbs, kills, or merely takes his victims to an undisclosed location or dimension is also unknown, as there are never any bodies or evidence left behind in his wake to deduce a definite conclusion. His face is pale and slightly ghostly, and almost appears to have been wrapped in a type of gauze or cloth. His facial features are also an object of debate, and many people believe that his face looks different to each person, if it is seen at all. Sometimes he is portrayed to be wearing a hat, which is sometimes a bowler, a fedora, or sometimes even a top hat. He may also be seen wearing a long flowing necktie or scarf, which is either red or gray. He often keeps long, pale hands crossed politely behind his back or hanging loosely at his sides. His suit is black, sometimes portrayed as pinstriped in artwork, a common misconception thanks to the very similar Jack Skeleton from A Nightmare Before Christmas. He has long coattails, which he lets flow proudly. He wears long dress shoes, which are always shined and perfect and gleaming black. Much of the fascination with the Slenderman is rooted in overall aura of mystery that he is wrapped in. Despite the fact that it is rumored he kills children almost exclusively, it is difficult to say whether or not his only objective is slaughter. Oftentimes, it is either reported or recorded that he can be found in sections of the woods, and these generally tend to be near suburban areas. He also has been reported seen with a large group of children. As many photographs portray, it is commonly thought that he resides in the woods and forests and preys on children. He seems unconcerned with being exposed in the daylight or captured in photos. It is often thought as well that he enjoys stalking people who become overly paranoid about his existence, purposely giving them glimpses of himself in order to further frighten them. For this reason, it seems like Slenderman very much enjoys psychologically torturing his victims. He also often appears to float or drift around rather than walk, which suggests the possibility of him being an eternal being rather than a creature or a man. This would also explain why he is able to remain mobile in spite of his poorly portioned body. Even though Slenderman has fabricated on Something Awful forums, some people have already claimed sightings. He is seen mostly at night, peering into open windows, and walks out in front of lone motorists on secluded roads. His main intentions appear to be kidnapping children, as when he is seen near them in photographs, they usually disappear shortly afterwards. The Slender Man has also inspired many stories, such as those of marble hornets. The earliest argued reference of the legend is within the cave paintings found in Caprivia National Park in the northeast of Brazil, which are believed to date from as far back as 9000 BC. These paintings show a strangely elongated character leading a child by the hand, but make no reference to the extra appendages. The next known possible reference to the Slender Man comes from around 3100 BC in Lower Egypt, with references to the thief of gods or the thief of Cook becoming commonplace during the reign of Pharaoh Wasner. Hieroglyph carvings representing the thief were found in the pharaoh's tomb, who was rumored to have had some kind of encounter with the entity. The carvings resemble a strange figure with multiple upper limbs, one that has never been found in any other hieroglyph language. Renowned German woodcutter Hans Freckenberg created at least 2 woodcuts featuring a character he described as Der Ritter, the Knight, during the 16th century that were discovered in Holzberg Castle in 1883. Historians are unsure of the exact symbolic nature of the character, who, with some claiming that it is a personification of the religious wars that raged in Europe at the time, while others say it represents the mysterious plagues that have been believed to be the reason for the mysterious abandoning of Holzberg Castle and the nearby village in 1543. However, many insist that Freckenberg was attempting to represent Der Grom, the Tall Man. According to the legend, he was a fairy who lived in the Black Forest. Bad children who crept into the forest at night would be relentlessly chased by the Tall Man, who wouldn't leave them be until they either were caught or they forced themselves to tell their parents of their wrongdoing. Even then, there is a chilling account from one old journal dating back from about 1702. The journal states, "My child Lars, he is gone, taken from his bed. The only thing that we found was a scrap of black clothing. It feels like cotton, but it is softer, thicker. Lars came into my bedroom yesterday screaming at the top of his lungs that the angel was outside. I asked him what he was talking about, and he told me some nonsense fairy story about the Tall Man. He said he went into the groves by our village and found one of my cows dead, hanging from a tree. I thought nothing of it at first, but now he is gone. We must find Lars, and my family must leave before we are killed. I am sorry, my son. I should have listened. May God forgive me." There is also a Romanian fairy tale which tells the legend of the Tall Man, featuring a description which may have referred to the Slender Man. The Tall Man stood in the clearing, dressed as a nobleman, all in black. Shadows lay over him, dark as a cloudy midnight. He had many arms, all long and boneless as snakes, all sharp as swords, and they writhed like worms on nails. He did not speak, but made his intentions known. In the fairy tale, the Tall Man causes a mother to kill her husband and child before he slid from a fireplace and clenched her in his burning embrace. There is also an English myth referring to the tree man, whom is said to have the same slim body with appendages that look like tree branches. He is only known to be seen in the woods and used as a story that parents told their children to thwart bad behavior. There have been quite a few disappearances of children that have been said to be linked to the tree man. So horror horde. Whether it's Egypt, whether it's Brazil, or whether it's your own backyard, the Slenderman legend has been around longer than what people may think. And with all that being said, horror horde, if you ever find yourself staring out a window and you see someone standing there looking up at you wearing a black suit, pay him no mind, because he has been known to psychologically torment his victims. And with all that being said, horror horde, this has been your boy Horror Gamer saying, until next time, don't fear the darkness, embrace it.